Hey guys, Rominating Reaper here. So, I have just got done watching Love Lies Bleeding. This, of course, is the newest film from Rose Glass, who previously directed the sort of artsy horror film Saint Maud. And this obviously leans away from the horror genre and more into sort of thriller territory with like kind of erotic elements to it. And the trailers for it look really bold and exciting. Yeah, an A24 production, naturally. So the kind of film I could really get behind. Really looking forward to watching, especially after all of the rave reviews I had been hearing about the film. But is this a bold, daring, and exciting thriller? Let's find out. So the film follows Lou, who is the manager of a gym in New Mexico. She lives in fear of her powerful father, Lou Sr., and looks out for her sister, Beth, who is regularly beaten by her husband, JJ. Things begin to change for Lou whenever she meets aspiring bodybuilder Jackie, who's stopping off in the area before she heads out to Las Vegas for a bodybuilding contest, and the two soon embark on a relationship. A relationship that is very quickly put to the test whenever Jackie decides to take measures into her own hands regarding JJ and his violent behavior. So, right from the offset, I have to mention that this is a film that will not be accommodating all audiences. Like, this is the film you very much have to be on its wavelength. You're either with it or you aren't. And I gotta say, thankfully, I was. I thought this was an absolutely brilliant movie, and this is easily one of the best I've seen this year. It is fantastic. Now, I will say that the first act can be a bit slow. Don't get me wrong, the more character driven feel of that first act does work for what it's going for. It's very much taking its time to set up the characters and their sort of flawed, very broken dynamics, so that when the plot really kicks in and shit does kick, it does have an impact. But sort of getting to that point, it can feel maybe a little slow. But don't get me wrong, when shit goes down, it is an absolute ride from there on out. At its core, it is, sort of very much upending the hyper masculine culture around bodybuilding. And don't get me wrong, it goes to, great lengths to show, like, these bulging close up shots of muscly bodies, or, wider shots of, these sweaty, muscle bound bodies, putting in the work. And you got this, this throbbing synth score by Clint Mansell playing over the scene, really making it seem, exciting and sexy and whatnot. But it's also very much exploring the the sort of psychological effects that, pushing your body that way has. It's very much a look at the very destructive effects of desire, and no more is no more clear than in the motivations of Lou and Jackie. Lou's desire is very much for revenge, while Jackie's is for success. But it finds that sort of common link and explores the extremes that we're willing to go to achieve that desire. It is absolutely fantastic, really compelling stuff. And it helps as well that the characters, you know, inhabiting this narrative are really, really interesting. Kristen Stewart does a fantastic job as Lou, who's sort of very cagey and tense, very much hiding dark secrets of her own. And Katie O'Brien as Jackie, is more sort of confident and outgoing, And the film very much goes to lengths to explore the contrast between these two, not just in terms of their physicalities, but also in terms of their characters, as they they take on different directions when shit hits the fan. And yeah, but Katie O'Brien especially, really exploring the effects that this sort of steroid use has on Jackie. Yeah, she is the fucking scene stealer, the MVP of the film. Absolutely fantastic. But her relationship with Lou, Kristen Stewart and Katie O'Brien have, oodles of chemistry, and it means that, their scenes together take on a sort of intimate eroticism at points. It's absolutely fantastic. You also have Jenna Malone as Beth, who's does a great job as this woman, very much trapped in an abusive relationship. On the one hand, she's fears for her life very regularly, but on the other hand, she also then goes on to fear for her husband's. Really fantastic stuff. And talking of husband, Dave Franco as JJ, man, he is such a deeply disgusting, obnoxious character. Dave Franco plays it so well. I hated this character every second he's on screen. Fantastic stuff. I also have Ed Harris as Lou Sr., a bug eating freak who very much gets into the heads of those under his control. And yeah, he's just such a frightening screen presence. And of course, these characters inhabit a world that, yes, is, gorgeously, vibrantly shot, but also is sort of, in a way, dirty and disgusting. This is a movie that opens with Kristen Stewart, cleaning shit out of a clogged up toilet. But it is, really fantastically shot, really striking, take note of every cut to like red. But, it very much leans into its own sort of disgusting stench, especially in the violence, which, in sort of contrast to the more intimate, erotic scenes, is brutal and hard hitting with really wince-worthy, fantastic special makeup effects. Absolutely fantastic. But later on in the film, the it sort of takes on entirely different territory. If you were compelled by the exciting, daring, revenge thriller, don't get me wrong, you get that, and it delivers it with aplomb. But it also takes on this much more dreamlike quality with like these brightly colored starry night skies, and sort of turns into body horror. It becomes this sort of steroid induced trip, and I think this is definitely where it might lose some audiences in this utterly weird final act. But I absolutely just was on the I absolutely loved these turns into the surreal. Just I really helping this movie build an incredibly distinctive and deeply bonkers identity. Yeah, I absolutely loved it. All in all, out of 10, Love Lies Bleeding gets a 9. So yeah, let me know down in the comments, have you seen Love Lies Bleeding? What did you think of it? Without getting into spoilers, what did you make of its more surreal turns? Let me know all that down in the comments. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you're new, and don't forget to turn on post notifications so you don't miss an upload.